The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
There's a girl, she's a star, she's got style, Steffi Star, you see her face around the town, she's popular, Steffi Star.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
And today we have a stunning guest for our Valentine's Day episode.
Yes.
She is going to talk about all kinds of things.
Yes.
Dating, men, this, that, and the other thing. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the gorgeous, the stunning, Jess Petronelli.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And thanks for dressing the part for Valentine's Day.
I tried. I didn't know. I said I didn't really have
Sweetheart
red
neckline.
Yes. I put a little
bit
heart,
of red.
heart earring.
Yes.
You look stunning.
Some roses. See, I got myself roses.
Perfect.
Yes,
for
it really
Valentine's
is.
Day. Yes.
I would like to show off the back of my jacket.
I love it.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That's gorgeous.
Oh, and I'd
Very
like to
detailed.
show my boots.
Oh.
Steph.
Ooh.
Adam?
Did you bedazzle them yourself?
Adam, can you get those in? Nope, I bought them like that.
Yeah.
And my nails.
I love the nails.
I mean,
The
you're
nails
on
are
it.
great. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
ready to go.
And my necklace.
Yeah, you are.
Can we go back to
festive.
the nails for a minute?
Yeah.
They're not symmetrical. Is that for a reason?
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like symmetrical?
Let me
No,
see.
I don't like when you have one here, one here, one here, and one here.
Oh, yeah. You just want
I don't like
I like
that.
a little like accent.
I need it
nails. Yeah.
splattered.
Yeah.
Got it.
My brain is not like that.
That's because you're a yellow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm listening to the book now.
You're going to die.
I was
It is
jumping on my trampoline for
it
half
is
an hour this morning
so
listening.
What's the
funny.
book?
Boing, boing,
Surrounded
boing.
by idiots.
Oh.
Thomas Erickson, maybe is
I
his
think
name?
so.
Okay.
So he puts people in 4 categories.
Okay.
You're red, yellow, green, or blue.
Yes.
And then throughout this book, he goes through each scenario. And if you're greeting a red for the first time, what's it going to be like? If you're meeting a yellow for the first time.
Meredith
Green
keeps
and
saying
blue.
I'm a yellow and that she's a red.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that means
Yeah.
yet because I
Okay.
just
You
started.
haven't gotten to that
Yeah.
chapter yet.
And I'm not
All right.
reading it. I'm doing the audiobook.
Same.
Yeah.
And there's
That's okay.
splashes. Like I'm a red with a splash of yellow.
Okay.
And so you can have
Okay.
that. I think
Okay.
my husband is red with some blue.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll know what all that means
Yeah.
soon.
Kelly Carroll's a green.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to hear it.
Kels.
I'm curious if other people have listened to this book.
Maybe
because
we'll
it's
have to have
really-
someone on that listen to the book.
I just don't know how much is going to stick in my brain. I've kind of
Oh.
figured that out. You know, when
You right. You read something and then you just don't retain it after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
That's like me. I read. I'll forget the whole book. I can read the whole thing again, and then I'll be like, "Oh, I think I read this before."
Yes.
I do that all
Sounds
the time.
familiar.
I could. Yeah.
So I
It's
wonder
really-
what color I am.
I mean, especially with the audiobook, because you are not paying.
Attention all the time.
Right.
Yeah. I even do that with TV. Like, you're watching a good show and I'm so into it, but then I'm
Yes.
like playing Candy Crush or something,
Yes.
or I'm
Right.
like online shopping.
Yes.
And I'm
I
like,
know.
I'm like, is my ADD that bad now
Yes.
that I can't like just sit and watch a show without like doing something on
Well,
my
I think
phone?
we just have so much in our brain. Like
all the
to
time.
bring new stuff in, I have to get rid of
right,
something.
Right.
And this is just extra. So if I
Yeah.
gain anything, it's entertainment for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Do you do a lot of online shopping?
I do a lot of online
So do
shopping.
I.
A lot of online
Although I did
shopping.
cut down a little bit.
I need to cut down a little
You know what
bit.
I'm doing, and it's helping.
What?
I have I have a section in my calendar, and I have to write down anytime I buy something online. I have to write down what I bought.
Why do you do that?
Oh, I think I need to start doing
Because
that.
it's been helpful, and then because then I think about if I buy this, I'm gonna have to write it down, and it's stupid stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then the next day, you know what I bought the other day? An ear
Oh yeah.
cleaner thing that has like a camera that you can go in and like clean it
Oh,
and
Anthony
get
would like
everything
that.
out of that. And I was
Right.
like, wow, because Q-tips aren't good.
Right.
So I just thought this was something I really needed.
Do you have
So-
a wax problem?
I mean, not particularly, but people think I do because I talk really loud And so maybe there's some buildup. So now I'm going to have the camera with the thing you can clean out. And so that
Maybe
was
it'll
my
help.
last purchase. Right, exactly. And then, you're going to Shein was the last place I think I was shopping on. And those shirts are like $5.
Right.
The dresses, I mean, I know they come from China and the poor children, I think, are like in the factories making them. But
you needed it.
I needed it. I'm going on vacation. And then you have to buy 2 sizes because I don't know what
'cause
size
you're not
you are.
sure.
You're right. You're not like, if they're real sizes or what they are. So then you're buying 6 sizes and you don't.
Well, now my thing is I'm buying clothes and I'm too lazy to return.
Yes, I know that's the
Really?
worst.
Yeah.
I have to do that. I'm terrible.
I'm a good
with that.
returner.
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm terrible. But I'm going to get better. All the Shein stuff that doesn't fit is going back.
It has to go back.
See, here's what I do for returns.
Yeah, you get Alexa.
No, I am good at them.
Oh.
She just helped me with some of it
Okay.
from Christmas. But first, most important is you have to keep the packaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's vital. You get rid of the packaging,
You're
it's going to
dead.
make the next level just
Too much. You're
Right.
like, I got to go
stressful.
find a bag
Yep.
to put
So
it
you
in.
got to keep the packaging.
Yep.
And then immediately take it to where you're productive.
Right.
So like I'm productive at work. I don't have to do it right away, but I'll take a few of them and they're right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have
when
to
I
do
want
it.
a little distraction from doing a report or something, I take a break and do that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you
Brilliant.
feel so satisfied.
Right. Oh, I love doing a return.
Yes.
I know.
It is. You feel accomplished.
I feel like a grown up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I agree.
So, wide leg pants are in.
Yes, I'm wearing some actually.
Yeah.
I'm
So
loving
this
them.
is a big transition
you.
because, well, it is, but I feel like we're all coming out of the legging era, right? Which means in terms of look, it's tight on the bottom and then you can go big on top.
Yes.
But if you have a wide leg, you can't go big and
big on
big.
top,
You're just going to be
exactly.
flowing in fabric. It's going to be stupid.
Yes.
So now we have to go wide on bottom, little top.
Yes.
And I'm a big person, so that's hard because just meeting at the top of the pants is like uncomfortable because I move it all and you can see my.
I don't mind like a flowy.
I
With
like.
a
I
flowy
actually
flow.
this look works better for me. I think because I tend to be bigger on the bottom and then smaller on the top. So I'm kind of happy it's back. But then you can't just like throw on the. Then you got to wear like nicer shoes
Right.
and stuff. You
You
can't
need
wear
a lug.
like
It
yeah,
needs to be the
that's
right
only
because you don't
thing.
want your shoe being swallowed up either by these.
Right.
huge
Right. You
pants.
can't
And
just throw on a pair
everything's
of
too long
sneakers.
on me. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Are
But I have short legs, so I have a longer torso. So I do have to hem a lot of pants.
I have short legs.
Oh,
with
that
a
would
short
be annoying.
torso.
How do you guys deal with that? Where do you go?
I
Your
don't.
pants
So
hem.
all my
Well,
pants are too long.
Yeah,
on me 'cause
usually
I'm
they're
too
just
lazy.
too long, or I do them. Eventually, occasionally, I'll go to the tailor place
Okay.
in West
Right.
Bridgewater. They do it in an hour. They can get it done.
Although
That's a lot of work.
you can cuff a jean, even a wide leg one. I was watching my fashion person,
Okay.
and she said you can cuff a wide jean. It does look kind of cool with a pointy boot.
Yeah.
Will
okay.
you get a pointy boot?
That's going to be transition for me
little
because
pointy-
I hate
pointy
how
ones.
a skinny boot looks with a wide leg or shoe.
Oh, see, I like it.
Oh no, that's
That's the look.
that's fashion, Meredith.
I'm sorry. I
look.
just need to transition.
All
I don't
right,
love
well,
it.
the fact that you're even in a pair of like, I feel like those are low waisted jeans
They are.
with a belt, with just the sweater tucked in the front.
I'm outside of my comfort zone.
This is not anything I've
I think
ever
you look
known.
great.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a lot.
I love it.
But, hey, fashion forward, right?
Yes,
we have
that's
to
what we
change.
got to do.
Well, meanwhile, Jess.
Yes,
Jess is a realtor.
I am. Yes,
Right.
yes.
That's right. You said that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really know much about you.
Yeah, we don't know
because
you at all.
Steph
I know.
booked you and said,
We don't
have
know.
someone
We have
amazing.
some lady. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
so she was a recommendation from my friend / a past client, Perry.
Yeah.
And I sold her a house on, well, I won't say.
Yeah.
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 And anyway, so when I made the post yesterday, are you a serial dater or a love expert? She suggested that Jess come on. And then Lisa O'Neill, who does all the skincare,
Yep.
and everybody I know goes to her for facials.
Okay.
Yeah.
She also said Jess.
God.
Yeah, I have a lot of stories. That's for sure.
So
yes,
are
but I
you
am a
here
realtor.
because you have advice or because you have experience?
I have experience. I don't know if anybody would want my advice, but I do have a lot of tried tribulations.
All
I
right.
would say.
So let's
I think it would
start
be
from the
more
beginning.
the stories. Yes.
Right. So, okay, Jess,
Yes.
were you ever married?
I was twice.
Twice.
Twice married.
So
twice
would you call that
divorced.
good or not good at marriage?
I would call that. What would we call that?
Well,
Let me think. Is that good or not?
But
I guess
let's start from the beginning because you
pro
were.
marriage. I guess I was pro marriage.
She was
I'd do
very
it again.
young.
You were or you are?
I think I still am. I
Okay.
would do it again. I'd do
Okay.
it for a third time. Third time's the
Third
charm.
time's a charm.
Third time's
Now,
the charm.
when you were married the first time,
Yes.
you were just a young gal.
I was very, very young. Yes, I met my ex-husband when I was just turned 19. He was 22, and we, dated a couple years. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is really that, working.
Mm.
He was very old school Greek,
Ooh.
very, but had a, really nice, embracing family. And then I tried to break up with him when I was 20. And then somehow I ended up engaged after that. I don't know. He was like, all right, I understand you want to, not date anymore, but maybe we should get married instead. And then I was like, all right, maybe that's a good idea. Thinking that was smart.
But that's what happens
yeah.
at a lot of women that age.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody's getting engaged. All
Well,
your
no,
friends are-
none of my friends
Oh,
were
you
getting
were the
engaged
first
at
one?
20.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't
that is
even
right.
drink. So,
Oh, right.
yeah, that was
What did your
young.
parents think about you getting
Well, I
engaged
think
at 20?
they thought I think they probably just wanted me out of the house. They were probably like, "This is awesome,"
Right,
like
right.
that's good. So he was done with school. Yeah, he was settled. He was pretty responsible, but it just was not a good match.
I mean, that is extraordinarily young.
So young, yes. And the great thing is I have my two kids. They're awesome. They're 11 and 13, boy and a girl, in West Bridgewater. So, we were married for 10 years.
Okay.
So, it's crazy because I think of like when I first got divorced and I was 31 and it was like, oh my God, I've been married for 10 years, but I'm still so young.
Right.
And then it was like I started dating like all my high school boyfriends over again and
Oh,
stuff because
wow.
everybody was still single at that time. You
Right.
could still go out, you still look
Right.
good. I was like,
Oh.
wow, I have this is going to be my decade. And then here I am doing it all again at turning 40. It's
Wait,
not
so
the same.
when did you, how old, so you got divorced at 31?
Yes, 31 the first time. Yes.
And then when did you get married for the second time?
So the second time I got married.
Can we stop for a second?
Yes.
Sure.
So whenever people talk about their
Exes?
the relationship ending, everybody glosses over the messy part.
Oh, it was messy. This
So
one
I want
was
to hear
messy.
about that
All right.
because I don't get
Okay.
those details of like, okay, so what I've heard so far
Yes.
is you were breaking up with this man
Yes.
and then found yourself engaged to the man.
No,
The first
oh,
man.
the first
Yes,
time.
the
The
Greek.
first man. Because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dear,
Right.
I kind of did. No, it didn't happen like that the second time. But yeah, I was going through like some anxiety at the time. I was having panic attacks.
When you got engaged?
Yeah. And I just kind of.
Because she
'cause
got
you
engaged to the
knew-
wrong guy.
You knew deep down it wasn't
It
right.
wasn't the right thing. And I remember trying to call off the engagement.
did?
I did a few times. And, but then I thought, what, maybe this is what it is. I was a little wild in high school. I liked the bad boys. And
Yeah.
this is probably a problem that's still following me to this day. The ones that, are a little bit, there wasn't passion. There wasn't excitement. And then it got really hostile when we were married because, there just wasn't, there was
nothing there.
There was nothing
no
there.
love.
And you had
the
two
sex was
children?
terrible. I don't know if you're allowed to say that word.
You are.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But, but we had two kids, yes. And, it was not a good, it wasn't even, it felt like a fake marriage, I would feel like. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't feel like there was any connection whatsoever.
You must have felt so trapped.
Yeah, I did feel trapped, and I was so intertwined with his family, like his parents and this, and they were so involved, and we had so many friends together that it was like I had to leave a life.
Right.
And when we did get divorced, it was messy because
How did you get to the point where
I'm trying
you've
to
got
think.
two kids?
Yeah.
Were you working?
I was not working.
So
I was
you're
not working.
dependent.
He is a
completely
Greek man.
dependent.
He did not want her to work.
Yeah, he was. He said you could be, and I remember at the time because he he was buying and selling a lot of real estate at the time. And I said, you know what, I should get my real estate license. I'm like, because if I do, and he was like, no, I have my realtor. You're not going to pass the test. You don't need to do that. You know, if you want a job, go work for health insurance for 15 hours a week as a bank teller or something, something like that. You know, he was like, but other than that, no. So I said, you know what? All right. So I'm home with the kids. He was working all the time. I didn't really know what he had at that point either. He was buying a lot. It was during that, 2008, 2009, with the big crash.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting a lot of foreclosures, short sales, multifamily homes. So picking those up. And I didn't know what I was going to do, to be honest. I actually went to my parents and I said, I can't do this anymore.
What did they say?
They were like, first my dad kept saying, go fix it, go fix it, go fix it. Then finally he said, all right, you know what? If you're this miserable, we'll go to a lawyer with you. We can give you, at least help you out at the down payment. And, you could pay us back at the end or whatever, just to put the retainer down.
Because that was nice.
I didn't have any money of my own. I mean, if I used a debit card, that was money that, you went to Target today. I couldn't put $10,000 retainer on an attorney. So that was a big thing, because I was like, how could I even begin to live? We were living in North Andover at the time. So, I had a 3 and 5-year-old. Yeah, no, it was nuts. And then I said, you know what, I think I'd rather just live at my parents' house at this point.
So you thankfully had your mom and dad to go to.
Yeah, so they helped me. They helped me. Yes, they did. They did. And it was messy. It was a 2-year battle. He tried to say that I was an unfit mother. He was putting trackers on my car to see where I was going, logging into like Facebook messages, because I think after that, then I started talking to an old boyfriend a little bit, but this was after we were separated. But we were still
so did
in the
you
house.
Just have a sit down with him, or was it a fight?
No, I tried to do an actual sit down, and he goes, "Yeah, I want to get divorced." But then when I actually went through with it, and I said, "Look, this is what we're going to do," he lost it, and he was like, and I think maybe he thought what he could lose and everything else, So it ended up being a pretty messy battle. I ended up winning, and I was able to, my grandparents just passed away, and they had a home in West Bridgewater.
When you say win, what do you mean by winning?
Well, so it was a battle by, he wanted to stay down by where his family is. I wanted to move closer to home.
Okay.
So, and I'm from West Bridgewater.
He was trying to block that.
And he also was trying to get full custody of the kids.
Oh wow.
Or at least.
So dumb.
Yeah. And so I basically anything that we went, we ended up winning, but there were depositions. It was rough. I had a deposition where I was sitting there with the attorney, like, did you party in high school? How old were you when you lost your virginity? I said, what are these questions?
Wow.
I said, I'm just trying to get divorced. I don't know why I'm on trial here, but it was disgusting. It was really, really bad.
I thought there was no contest in Massachusetts.
There wasn't, and that was the thing. That's why the judge was like, "What are we even doing here?" She was like, "This is ridiculous." So,
wow.
Yeah, no, it was messy. It was messy, but we ended up. So basically, then that's when I moved to West Bridgewater. He moved into the town next door, and.
So he moved this way?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
To be close to the kids.
To close to the kids. Yes.
Do you have any indication why he acted that way? I mean, if it was an unhappy marriage, and you said we're both unhappy, why do people act in that manner?
I think about that a lot. I really do. Because, he would say at the time, oh, I loved you. But I really don't feel that he really did. I'm sure he cared about me, being the mother of his children. But I don't know. I don't know if it was a power thing. I don't know if it was like kind of that narcissistic way of losing, or losing a lot of maybe what he had, that kind of thing, because you're gonna have to split it,
right?
Certain things, not split down the middle. It didn't work that way, but
his parents were probably married forever,
of course,
right?
Yeah,
and even if they were fighting, they would never get divorced.
Exactly.
And you don't get divorced.
You don't get divorced,
right? When you're Greek, or
you don't. And I just remember saying, we're not happy. I go, can we work on this? Because people that are married aren't happy. That's not what marriage is about. It's about,
right.
I was like, all right.
Right.
So
how many years in the marriage do you think you went before you realized you were unhappy?
Oh, I think immediately. I mean,
that's right, because you tried to break off the engagement.
And then even after we were married, I remember every 6 months bringing up divorce and this and that. I think what put it on hold for a while was having children.
Sure.
Because that, then I was wrapped up in the kids and doing stuff with them. And I loved that. And, and I did love certain aspects of our life together, with our friends and certain family activities and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, for the most part, we were getting along very well. But he did just move in a girlfriend that from another state that didn't want him speaking to me. So now he's not talking to me anymore. So, and who never met the kids. That was a big mess too. So, yeah.
So 2 years. And then are you both living together during the 2 years?
No. So we had to get an order to get him out of the house because we were back and forth, but then he was going through things and stuff like that. So he was forced to get an apartment. We then sold the house.
Okay.
We sold the house. And then once we sold the house, it was still going on for a little bit, but I already got the order to be able to move and everything else. And then just basically, tying up the loose ends.
So you have to get permission from a judge.
Yes. Yeah. To be able to just move. You can't I guess you can and then ask for forgiveness, but it's better to, they look down, especially when you're moving over about an hour or over an hour.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's a 15
So at that time, were you reaching out to your girlfriends?
Yes.
Who was your support group besides your parents?
I have great friends. I really do. I have the best group of girlfriends. A lot of my girlfriends I've had since I was, in elementary school, and we all still live in town. Hi to all of you. And ones that I met, right around that time living in the area, but I don't think I would have got through anything that I've got through without my girlfriend. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you. You know who you are.
I love it.
Yes. So I did, which was great. And we still laugh about everything and the crazy stories and everything else.
Yeah.
So then you find yourself, so divorce is over.
Divorce is finally over.
Living with your mom and dad?
No, I bought my grandparents' house, which was in West Bridgewater.
Okay. And you were how old?
Passed away. I was 31.
So 31, you're now divorced.
Divorced, yeah.
A 3 and a 5-year-old.
3 and a 5-year-old. Maybe 4 and 6 now at this point.
You own your own home.
I own my own home. I decide I'm going to go and get my real estate license. Things were great. I was loving life at this time. Ex-husband has them on Wednesdays every other weekend. So I got time to go out.
So that's when you started dating all your old boyfriends from high
That's
school.
when I started redating all the old boyfriends from high school and my sister. My sister's a big support system. She was as well. She lives in Easton too. Hi, Steph.
So why rekindling with old ones?
Well, because that was just easy well, first of all,
dating is scary.
Yeah. And also I think I kind of was like left at 16 because I got married so young. So now you feel like you're in high school again, so, they're also, she's single. So they're reaching out and this and that. So I did recycle not quite a few, but there was maybe a handful that we went
Could
through.
you figure it out pretty quickly when you dated someone?
No, I think I stayed in a little too long, probably with all of them. 6 months here, maybe 4 or 5 months here. And they were probably the same as they were in high school. And they all ended pretty badly. I'm not even going to
As my mother always says, a leopard doesn't change their spots.
Exactly.
Lois.
And then, lo and behold, I said, okay, after a year or so of this, I said, maybe I'm going to try the whole online dating thing. So I make an account. I think it was
Which
Match.
one?
I think
Match?
I did Bumble. I might have done Tinder too. I think it was Bumble, Tinder, and Match. I think those were the ones.
Okay.
And, I matched up with some people. I went on one date.
Were you nervous?
I was nervous. A lot of the chatting and stuff was fine, but then it was like, you're going to go on
Now,
a date.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you talk on the phone before you went, or you guys were just texting?
Yeah, just texting and then straight to the date. Yeah.
You don't talk on the phone. Remember, Alexa and Brooke
Sometimes
were
you do, though. There are some dates that I do talk on the phone, too. So I think it just depends on the person. I personally, in the beginning, was like, I don't want to talk to these people on the phone. You know what I mean? I don't know who they are. It makes you uncomfortable. But now I kind of would like it. Or even a FaceTime. Because now it's like, I don't want to waste any more time.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's tough. So yeah, I went on 2 dates. The first one was bad.
Do you have them come to you?
So I usually like to pick kind of a, what's the word? Convenient place for both, maybe in the middle somewhere.
Right.
But would it be at your regular place you would go out to?
No, I have done that. I have done
Oh.
that. Yeah, no, I've got a funny story for that one too. But yes, this first date, I think my first online date, we met at, I think it was Mac and Waltz in Norton. He lived in Attleboro. I was in West Bridgewater. So I thought that was like a good, I don't really want them too close to my house either. You know,
Right.
then they start going, oh, can I come back over?
Right.
This and that. And I'm going to be like, oh no, I got to get home. You know, so I kind of like that
No,
better.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you date, who took care of your kids?
That day, I think probably they were with their dad.
Okay.
Most of the time when I go, I would say 99% of the time.
She went out on Wednesdays and every other weekend.
Yes,
Right.
and
Got
Sundays.
it.
Actually, my ex has them on every Wednesday, Sunday, and then every other weekend.
Okay, got it.
So those were when most of the dates were. Most of them were Wednesdays, especially first dates.
That made sense.
Yes, yeah, because you don't want to waste a weekend.
You don't want to waste a weekend on a bad date. So, all right.
Yes.
So, date number one.
Date number one was awful.
Oh.
It was awful. It was short. He was really, really high. He kept asking if he could touch my hair. And we ordered.
Are you
No, it was
effing
insane.
kidding
I think
me?
did we order
Get
an
your
appetizer?
paws off my hair.
I was like, this is so. I'm like, no. And then what happened?
This was Mac and Waltz?
This was Mac and Waltz.
I'm taking notes.
Then I don't
Okay.
even know if we ordered an appetizer. Maybe we just ordered a drink.
Wait, were you like, ew, as soon as you saw him?
I mean, he was a nice looking guy, but he was a total creep. He told me that he was divorced twice. He got divorced.
What's his first name?
His first name was, I think it was Joe.
I know him.
Do you?
You do not.
You might know
Don't
him.
listen to her.
I don't even remember the last name. I said, I'm going to bring them all down with me on this podcast. But no, he, basically he said to me, he was like, you know what, let's just cut to the chase. You're going to be in love with me once you have sex with me. So I think we should do that now.
Okay, this is what's going on, Meredith. Okay, I hear this from my other girlfriends.
Yeah.
These men are disgusting. And you know what, men out there, if you are looking for to go out with a nice girl, that is not how you lead the first date.
First 20 minutes.
Disgusting.
But they probably aren't looking to go out with a nice
Yeah.
girl. But he's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
test
you're
the
right.
water.
Right.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
So
That's sweet.
he isn't looking for. What he's looking for is to just go have sex.
Yeah, and he told me the reason he got divorced the second time was his wife was pregnant, and I think he was cheating. So I said, oh, that's nice to know. And yeah, so anyways, it was a very
Great, Joe.
It was a 35-minute
Joe,
date.
you suck.
You end,
Yeah.
you
Joe
end right
sucks.
away. How do you wrap it up?
That one was just like, all right, I'm done with the drink. I gotta go.
Yeah.
That was probably the shortest date I ever went on. And that was
35
back
minutes.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
35 minutes. I was home by, I don't know. I think I got there before. I think I was in my house before 8 o'clock.
And then how did you feel when you got home? Were you like, that was the biggest freaking waste of my time?
Yeah, that's how I'd feel.
I
That's what
had to
was gonna
put
happen.
makeup on. I had to pick out an outfit.
You know, that time I don't know if I was jaded yet at that
Okay.
time. I think I was like, all right, whatever. It was kind of like
You're
a
like,
laugh
next.
off. Yeah, next.
Okay.
And then I matched up with this
Date number
handsome-
2.
Date number 2
Oh.
was the
Tall, dark, and handsome?
Tall, dark, and handsome. We texted for days beforehand.
Were you giddy? Did you have
I
butterflies?
was so giddy. I was so excited. And then I met him and I was so smitten. And it was just love right off the bat. And I said, wow, this is
Wait, where'd you
easy.
go?
Where did we go? Oh, he meant to say, I'll meet you at Barrett's, but it ended up being Emma's. No, he said Emma's. So he went to Barrett's. So I was waiting there
Which
at Emma's
Barrett's?
by myself. The West Bridgewater one.
Oh, okay.
But he said Emma's, so I was at the wrong
Wait, the
place.
texting part, did you do that in an effort to sort of vet your next suitor a little bit more than the first?
I think it was just we couldn't get a date right away, and I felt like a lot of connection with the texting, and we wanted to talk a lot, and he was very engaging, and I was beyond excited.
What's his first name?
His name is Chris. He's still alive. So.
I know him too.
Yeah,
bet you
I
do.
know him well. I married him.
Oh, you married the second
I married
date?
him. I married the second
she
date.
wow. So you
Yes.
so all you did was go through your old high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
You went on one bad date with Joe.
And
Second date with Chris and married him.
And married him.
Now,
and I was
how
like,
long were you dating Chris?
So that went a little fast. And if I could go back into the first year of dating was like pure bliss.
Where'd you go? What'd you do?
We did everything. We went to Miami and Key West. We went on New Hampshire trips. We went to concerts.
He wined you and dined you, and you had experiences with him.
And so much. He was great with the kids. We talked about getting married super fast. He wanted to move in. You know, he had a nice apartment. He said, well, you know, his lease was up. I said, come on in. We got engaged within a year.
Now, how long? Oh, within a year.
Within a year, yeah. So it was 9 months when he moved in.
Okay.
And then we got engaged right at the year mark. And we got married the following June.
Now, did you have any reservations when you were engaged, about to get married to him?
Well, close to the wedding, yes, because I found text messages between him and an ex-girlfriend. And it was like, you know,
when you say you found them,
I looked for them.
Okay.
Because you had a feeling.
I don't know why I looked for them. It was so weird because I never went through his phone. And I don't know what made me do it that day. It was very strange.
Well, it must have been a tip-off. He must have given you some body language.
There must have been something. I don't know if I had a dream or what it was.
Was he in the shower when you looked through the phone?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was in the shower when I looked in the phone.
And then you opened his phone. How did you knew his code?
Yes, I knew the code. I did know the code.
And then so you go in the phone and you see these texts and you're like,
I lost.
But now you've read them. Did you have to
bastard?
What do you do because you've read them so he's going to see that they?
I didn't care that he knew. Yeah,
okay.
No. I didn't care that he read them.
What was in the text?
It was like, oh, Jess is away. Wait, maybe you could come over or something like that. Or you know, they were bad. They were, and then I was just joking. You know, this is what I do. I'll go to counseling. We did a whole. I remember I was throwing Legos at him and this and that. I was so upset. We were leaving for vacation. And then and then we were on the vacation. He was crying. And I remember, this was like the stupidest thing I ever did. But I remember him saying, let's get a tattoo for me to prove my love for you or whatever. We got so he got an anchor tattoo on his back. And I got the wheel because it was supposed to be the wheel guides the anchor home.
But no names.
But he did he not put the date? I think we put the coordinates of our home. I said, I still have it on there, but at least I still live in the home. So
there you go.
And
it's not his name.
So. No. I said I wasn't going to do that. So
I feel like I'm dying inside because I can't imagine ever being like, let's tattoo.
You know what?
Our relationship.
Can you imagine?
Because I just can see forward. This is going to go wrong.
Can you imagine Sean saying, Mayor?
No.
I'll get a hockey stick. You get a puck.
Yeah. Only because fast forward, right?
Yeah, fast forward to 3 years later. And then also, and that's another thing about leopards not changing their spots.
Right.
So, everything was great. Beautiful wedding. We wrote amazing
So you smooth things out there.
We went to a counselor who said, I've never seen a man love a woman as much as you. He was charming. He was so handsome when he he wants to be.
So you gave,
and I said, oh, the kids, he already lives here. We've got the whole
you
wedding.
You got to trust at a certain point, right?
Yes. So I said, all right, it is what it is. And then, fast forward 3 years and, we found, then there were videos of him. Then I don't know what, he disappeared a few times.
Disappeared,
didn't come home.
Did he say, honey, I'm going out for milk?
The last time he did say he was going to get a oil change and he never came back. And it was 4th of July. And that's when I went down to his work, opened the iPad, and there was a video of him and a girl.
Oh, having sex?
Yeah. Well, actually, they were.
Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. Oh, is it? We can edit it.
And they videoed it?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Did they want to put it somewhere?
No, I think they were videoing it to each other. So she was sending to him and they're saying names and Ashley, and this and that. I was like, do not come home. I was like, that is.
So how long was he gone for when he went to go get the oil
And how did
change?
you know to go to his work to go on his iPad?
I don't know. I have these psychic intuitions sometimes. I don't know what made me do that.
Did somebody close to you die, like a grandmother or something? Because they're
maybe they're sending.
No, they are
things.
feeding you this information.
Right. I don't know. I said, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to find something. I just knew it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Lots of videos?
There were a few. There were a few enough to know.
Did you know this girl?
No. But actually, I knew some people who did. So yeah, no.
And then he was married at that time.
Yes, he was married to me, but he's not even with her. He was cheating with someone else by this point who he lives with now. So that's that.
Wait a minute. The girl he lives with now, he was cheating with Ashley.
He was, I think him and Ashley might have been done by this point.
Oh,
he was
okay.
already dating this one. I think he was, then when he was missing
Okay,
that day, he
gotcha.
was with this girl.
When he was missing for the oil change.
Yes. So I think he ran away to New Hampshire and he was there. And then that was pretty much it. I mean, he kind of like tried to like gaslight me and blame it on me and say like, you know, this is your fault.
Mhm.
Anyways.
Right.
So with that you just say we need to.
Yeah, we got to get, and that was sad because the kids were attached and we were together for 6 years
yeah.
and he never came back. He never, you know, talked to them. And that was hard. And it's still hard to think about because I did truly love him. Like that was like the only time I think I truly was like happy and love.
yeah.
So at least, you know, I said,
Well, at least you had that though.
That's what I say.
Right.
You know, it's not all a waste, you know, for that.
And was he married previously?
So he was married for about 6 weeks and he cheated on her and left her for another girl. But I didn't get that full story
A
at the time.
leopard doesn't
And change.
his
No,
spots.
they don't. They don't.
So
And he was texting me around Christmas time. And he was like, can I come over? I was like, absolutely no. I was like, now I'm your ex-wife.
Right.
You want to cheat with me?
He wants
I
to
was
cheat
like,
with
no.
you.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So you're how old at that point? Second divorce.
I was 37. So this was summer of 2022.
were you like, not again?
I was like, not again. This is not where I wanted to be now. I was like, I already did this.
Did you say, Mom, Dad,
Yeah.
I need money?
I did not. Luckily, I had my own at this point.
Right.
I had a very successful year in real estate that year, so that was good. And luckily, because, you know, I ended up buying my house, you know, with my own funds and everything
Amazing.
else. So I ended up being able to stand on my own.
Yep.
And we ended up being able to kind of cut
And how does
ties.
it work at that point? Can you come to the marriage with 2 kids and a house? So how does Massachusetts look at that?
So it was a short-term marriage. He didn't, you know, I kind of helped him start up a business, which he had. I said, I won't go after that if you don't go I have rental properties too. So I said, if you don't go after that, I won't go after this. And that was kind of that.
Is short term in Massachusetts under
Probably 5 years.
Okay.
I don't know. It was 3, actually, I think. Yeah, it was 3 years. It was 3 years in total we were married. And we
So you
were
probably
together
should
for
have
5.
just dated.
That's what I said. I said, if we dated longer, it
would
wouldn't
have
have
cheated
happened. He
on
would
you.
have cheated on me,
But he
and
can't
this
help
never would have
himself.
happened. But he can't. It's in his
Meredith?
nature.
What color is he? Blue,
Black.
I don't
red?
know.
Black.
I don't know, because you can't find
Oh.
out, I don't think, without knowing a person. At least at this point. in
Okay,
my
so
reading.
he's just not made for marriage,
He's not made for marriage.
right? And that's fine.
You know, and I don't even hold a lot against him at this
Right.
point. It is what it is.
cares?
Yeah, who cares? We move on. I mean, it's still
Right.
sad, but you know, I'm
Right.
okay with it.
Right.
And then I said, oh, I'm just going to go back online
Right.
and I'm going to have a new husband. And not a new husband, but I said, oh, it'll be
Right.
easy. I go, you know, I don't need somebody to take care of the kids. I don't need somebody
Right.
to, you know, come support me. I could just meet somebody divorced, nice in their, you know, mid 40s or so. And, you know, we can have a nice relationship. Yeah, that didn't happen.
So why do you want to be married?
No, I don't really want to be married. I actually don't really want to be married. I said I would, like, if I was with somebody for a very you know,
Right.
long period of time and it just
Right.
felt like, you know, the next step. But I don't really want to be married. I would like to have a partner. I think it's fun. I enjoy having a partner.
You like being in a relationship.
In a relationship,
Right.
someone to go to dinner with, someone to go on a weekend trip with, do things like that.
Now, why do you think you're choosing the wrong men?
So, you know, at first, I think I always go through this after the divorce where you want that kind of bad boy thing, or, you know, you want the real handsome, you know, wild one, a little bit exciting.
Right.
But then I started kind of switching it out where I was not going for that type and it still wasn't working out. I mean, some of them just really, I had to call an ambulance on a date. I mean,
Please explain.
Yeah, that one was wild. Everyone said you better tell that story.
Okay,
on
tell
air.
this one. Okay,
There was
what's
a
his
guy.
name?
His name was Jonathan.
Okay, so we've had Joe, Chris, and now Jonathan.
Jonathan. Well, there was one, but yeah. So Jonathan, we went on we went on a first date, which was a coffee date. He told me he wasn't a big drinker. And
Where was he on
Bumble. Oh,
Okay,
right. So
Bumble.
at this point now, all the high school boyfriends have moved on,
Right.
married, or I dated them already. So we weren't going to redo that.
Right.
So I went back on the app. I hit the apps hard.
Okay.
I'm not even going to, you know, I was determined.
Right.
I just hit them hard. I was on Bumble, Tinder, Hinge.
Because you enjoyed the dating scene, or because you thought that you could meet another long-term relationship?
That's
That's
definitely
what she's
number
looking
2.
for.
Definitely.
Okay.
That was the plan. So, I had, a couple, just, there weren't really any sparks, nothing any
With Jonathan?
major. No, with the other ones I went
okay.
out. Then there was one I really liked. He ended up just falling asleep all the time. That was too bad. Every time.
tired.
He was always tired. I'm coming over. He'd fall asleep. He was coming. I go, we can't do this anymore. It's just not going to work out. So Jonathan was right after that.
Wait a minute. Can we back up?
Yes.
Did he, what kind of job did he do? Maybe
He's a teacher. He's like he was a gym teacher, and he was a coach, and it was the start of school. So it was like constant, I got to be at the baseball game. Oh, sorry. I was coming over. I fell asleep. Then he fell asleep again.
I think he has a medical condition.
I think he might, if he's listening. I hope he gets it checked out.
Go
He's
call
very
your
handsome.
doctor. What's
he was
his first name?
His name is Jason.
Jason.
I like Jason.
Oh.
Jason needs some vitamins.
Jason actually, we actually did this about, I don't know, I think it was 3 weeks ago, where he was like, maybe we can go out. Sorry. It ended up, not work. I said, I did not expect that date to happen, but.
Okay, so now we have cute Jonathan.
Yeah. There was cute Jason. Jason
Right.
was cute. Then there was
But
cute
Jason was
Jonathan.
too tired,
Yeah.
so
Now, do your
Jonathan
kids
was
meet
cute.
all these people?
No, my kids have not met anybody.
Except for Chris.
Yeah, except for Chris. So Jonathan, he seemed nice. We met for coffee. Then he asked me out on another date. And I remember him saying, he seemed a little like he was slurring at the date. But he said he doesn't drink that much. So I'm like, maybe he's just a lightweight, maybe he tried to, I had 3 drinks. Maybe he tried to keep up. I don't know.
What's your drink?
I like a Tito's and soda, or sometimes even like I'll get a vodka martini or something like that.
Okay.
I like my drinks, but I wasn't slurring. So, then we go on a third date. Did we do, I think it was sushi or something. Oh no. And we were supposed to, we went to sushi. That one was fine. But I think he was a little drunk then too. I probably maybe missed that little red flag.
So he claims he doesn't drink.
Yes.
Yet.
Because he's pre-gaming.
I think he must be pre-gaming. So now he said, do you want to go to lunch? And I was actually down in New Bedford for a closing. So I said, you know what? He lived in Fairhaven. So I said, you know what? Oh, all right. I was like, I'll meet you. The kids aren't going to be home till 3. I can do a quick lunch at noon. And so I went by his house, because he gave me the address, and I'm knocking on the door, and he answers the door, and he looks like, I'm like, are you okay? And he's crying, and he's in a wife beater, and he's like falling. I'm like, are you all right? And then I look, and there's like bottles everywhere. He told me he took like something, he can't walk, and I was like, and then he tried to like hug me, and then he went to the bathroom, and I ran out the door.
Smart.
Yeah, so I ran out the door. I go, I don't know what's going on. He was like an ex-Marine, and so I don't know. Maybe I know he had some PTSD. I don't know. At that point I was a little nervous. So I left. I met his sister once, so I Facebook messaged her, just being like,
Right.
I'm a little concerned about your brother. I think, you should go check on him. And she said, calls me on audio Facebook Messenger. And she goes, can you call 911? I'm going to call my mom. I was like, well, I'm not going back in that house. She goes, just wait by the house for the police to come. So I call 911. I meet the ambulance.
You really need this? Like seriously?
I'm like, this is noon on a Tuesday. I don't know what it is. I'm like,
Drama.
I'm waiting there, and the police get there, and they go, who are you? I go, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. That we need your license. Is he your boy? I go, he's not my boyfriend. No,
I was coming over for a tuna sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. So then they go, all right. They said, is his mom on his way? I said, I think so. And then so he goes and knocks on the door. He's like, open up, Johnny. Come on, buddy. Because they were like, and then he
Had they
up.
been there before? Did they
They're
know
there
him?
all the time, I guess.
Oh.
Yes, all the time. So I was like, are you kidding? And they're like, he looks pretty good, actually. He looks better than, what he usually does. And so then you got to go in the ambulance. I'm not going in the ambulance. And then the mom comes, the Portuguese mom, she's crying. It was sad. And then they went to go to the courthouse to go section him. So then he was calling me from rehab. I had to block the rehab number as well. So
So
that was that.
see, mental illness, PTSD, all of the above.
I think alcoholism was the worst.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it is. I heard, basically the gist of what I got was a raging alcoholic.
Oh,
Basically.
okay.
Yeah. So that was that. Jonathan was no more.
Okay.
But he was cute.
He was cute. One thing, most of them were cute. Yeah. I went on 30 dates, I believe, like 27. I think it was 27 dates from then to now. On a break.
All
I'm
right.
on a break.
Well, my girlfriend did this.
Yes.
My girlfriend Rochelle did this. She dated hard.
Yeah, just hard.
And
Just went at it hard.
sometimes she would have 2 dates in one day.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, because she'd meet one for coffee and then
Yep.
she'd meet one for a drink and she'd
Yep.
cross off. No.
Yeah, because you're
no.
like, you don't want to waste the time. And then you're like, let's just go. There has to be somebody good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And guess
What's your
what?
vetting process?
So now I have a after Jonathan, I decided to get the Truth Finder app and I pay like $25 a month. So I do background checks on all of them beforehand. And I do like to check their, Google them, check their social media, things of that nature. I would say that's about as far as the vetting, goes.
And you probably look up public record.
Yes, public record as well. Before that, I wasn't doing that so much. So.
And what's your criteria?
That's a good question.
After all these dates.
After my criteria now
Nice
has
guy.
changed. Yeah, I met a really nice guy, and I'm gonna have to tell that story real quick.
Yeah, we have time.
I met a guy and he was awesome. I met him in November. We were dating exclusively for 2 months. He was so nice. He was, handsome, but he was a father.
What's his name?
His name is Dean.
Now,
Greek.
does
You know him?
No, of course I know him. Did he say? Do these guys say, Jess, I just want to date you
Yes,
exclusively?
he said that. He did say
and
that.
you agreed.
I did. After like 5 dates or so, we had a lot of similarity. We had a lot of things in common. He, the Greek thing a little bit. I can speak a little bit of Greek, and the family. I've been to the same part of Greece that his family was from. He's from Stamford, Connecticut.
So you went for another Greek guy.
It was another Greek guy, but he's like, I'm not that kind. I'm more of an Americanized Greek guy, but he's also from Stamford, Connecticut. That's where my mom's from. So all my cousins and my grandparents, so we saw each other down there.
Oh,
He bought me a nice Christmas present.
What did he get you?
He got me Chanel perfume, which was very nice for only dating a month.
Go Dean.
Yeah, Dean was like, he was killing it. He called when he was supposed to call. He had a nice job. His kids, he got married really young. So he got married at like 22 because his girlfriend got pregnant, and his kids were a little bit older. His youngest were seniors in high school. And it was the weirdest thing. This was January. So the last time I saw him was Martin Luther King Day.
This year?
Yes. And he was like, I just told my whole family about you and this and that. And we were talking about going away on vacation, to Florida. And then, we talked on the phone Wednesday night. I think we were supposed to see each other on Friday. And he said, call me in the morning when you wake up, because he's like, you wake up a lot later than I do. He's up early. And I called him. He didn't answer. And then I wrote like a message like, morning, handsome, or something like that. And he ended up writing me back saying, he goes, crazy morning. My son got in a little trouble last night. Their mom and the house is a mess. Still dealing with this. We'll call you later. He called me later that night saying he was packing a bag. He was in the midst of a divorce. So they already filed. They were separated for about 9 months, according to him. He had his own place. I mean, that I know. And he was like, I have to go. I don't know. There was like a drunk driving thing, but it also, he said that the drunk driving, but it didn't end up turning into anything crazy. And, because he was a firefighter, so he knew some of the police and stuff like that. And that the wife was having a nervous breakdown. And basically, he had to go back. And I said,
go back home.
And I go, you're going back? And then I really didn't hear anything. And then I texted him like 5 days later, and I was like, what's going on? Are you okay? He said, still dealing with this. I said, can you have a conversation? Are you up for a phone call? I just kind of want to, get some clarity.
Right.
And he said, not right now. I'm dealing with my family and my priorities. And basically I said, are you trying to work things out with your ex-wife?
Right.
And he basically in so many words said yes. So I said, all right, have a nice life. So there was that.
It's a lot.
It's like, then you meet somebody good and that happens. Oh, and then I paid for a dating service.
Oh, like a matchmaker?
Yes, a matchmaker
Like a-
service. And then I got fat shamed on the date, and then I ended up getting all my money back. That was rough.
Wait,
too.
what?
Yes. I was
You're-
10 pounds heavier then, but I still
10 pounds?
Yeah, like I mean,
You're as
this
big
guy-
as a minute.
I'd be done. I'd be doomed.
He was like staring me up and down. He goes, "This is why I FaceTime girls before then." You know, it was terrible.
What's his first name?
His name is Eric, and Eric, if you're listening, I don't know what swears.
Eric,
I could
you
say,
are
but you are a piece of shit.
disgusting.
So he
rude.
goes on a date with you and tells you you're fat?
He said, he goes, sometimes people like, you didn't really have a lot of full length pictures of yourself to really know. I was in such shock. And I was like,
shallow.
And he's like staring at my thighs under the bar. It was humiliating. It was terrible. And I go, and I just paid all this money to go on a date with this idiot. Not to mention we matched on Bumble and we were already Instagram friends, but I think he was waiting to see more full length pictures before he could ask me out.
Well, like, I don't understand. Why does he need this information? He's obviously not looking for a relationship.
No, he
He's
wants
looking
a
for-
relationship. She just has to be extremely fit and thin. But he wants a relationship. She's just going to be a size 0. And if you're any bigger.
Well, that I'm speechless.
I don't know what to
Because
say.
not
Keep
only
going.
do you have to weed through the guys out there who are just out to have sex,
Yeah.
which every right, if that's what they're looking for, and you're consenting adults, and a
Right.
woman
And
wants
that's what you
then
want to do.
fine.
Yep.
But now you're reading through the people with emotional and mental health issues
Yes.
that you don't know at first blush.
Yep.
Plus, you want to be attracted to him.
Exactly.
And so someone might show up and you're like, like this guy, apparently you didn't do it for him.
No,
right? Like,
definitely didn't.
Someone can show up and you're like, actually, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Look at
Actually, your thighs.
They're just a little large.
I'm
Just
not
a
gonna
little
be able to
big.
go
Yeah,
forward
we're-
with
yeah,
this.
this is not going to work.
That
And we're
little
not-
mother effer.
I mean,
Oh, he was terrible. Oh,
that's strange to me.
it is so strange.
But
And I
he's
go,
probably a fetish guy, I would think. I bet
you know what?
there's
He's
some other
big
things.
into fitness. I know, one of the trainers at my gym, she goes, "Oh, we dated my friend a little bit who she's like 80 pounds soaking wet." But she also said and that Eric was the worst sex of her life too. So I just want to let that
Because he's
on
maybe
air.
he's really
That's
gay.
right, Eric. You
You
suck in the
bed.
sack.
You
He
suck
probably
in
has
bed.
fetishes because that's strange that
does.
you're not a large woman, and so
Yeah.
to have someone say to you you're too big, he's got mental issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah.
And and a lot of there were a lot of guys I went out with in their mid-40s with kids around my kids' age, and those men were the worst one. Like I don't know if they want to date 25-year-olds or because they just want nothing. I don't know what they want. Jason was always sleeping, so you couldn't even get him for sex if that's what you wanted. I mean, so I don't really know what a lot of them. I would be curious. We should have some callers of middle-aged, men, what they're looking for, because I have no idea.
And most of them are coming in with past marriages
a lot
and
of
children.
them, past marriages, kids. There's been a few I dated. I did date a trainer for a while. After this one, I think I was like, oh, I passed a trainer. And he had a lot of mental illness, drug problem. That
Now,
was
if a
not
guy
good.
hadn't been married or had any kids,
Oh, that's
would
a
you
red
not?
flag.
That's a red flag,
That's
but
a
I
red
still
flag.
do. I still will
Right.
go out with them.
'Cause
But
you
it
never
is a red
know.
flag. When you go have the 50-year-olds that never were married, never settled down, never had long-term girlfriends, you're like, what? Why?
Right.
Maybe at 50 you're ready to settle down. George Clooney was.
Right.
So there is
Right.
that chance.
Oh.
But yeah, there's been so I ended up fighting and I did end up getting my money back for them. I said, I'm never letting you set me up on another
Right.
date. That was the worst date of my life. So yeah, I was so mad. I just remember that. I was so mad.
One of my girlfriends, I told her years ago she should let us pick her guy.
Yeah, I would be.
She
my
didn't go
friends
for
say
it.
that. She didn't go for it.
No.
Oh, that would be a good
So,
idea.
what is your? They have to be good looking,
I'm trying. I'd like them to be good looking.
right?
Well, you want good looking to you.
Good
That
looking
could
to
be-
me.
That
Yeah.
could be not to me, not to
They
Steph.
don't have to be a
right?
supermodel.
You need to be attracted
right.
to them.
I need to be attracted. And you know what? a lot of them just don't have good personalities. Because, you know, there's somebody that's not that cute, but they have a really good person. They're funny.
Right.
I love funny.
I like funny.
I love funny.
I want to laugh.
I want to laugh.
I want to
None
laugh.
of these guys are funny.
And that's the thing. So if they're not that attractive, but they're so funny, they
Yeah.
turn attractive.
That's because you're yellow.
Totally.
Oh.
Am I yellow? Maybe I'm yellow. I think I might be.
I don't know yet. I
Mm.
don't know.
I'm going to have to read
You
this
got to read
book.
this. Surrounded by Idiots.
Yeah.
Surrounded by
really
idiots.
fun.
That's the
So-
story of my life.
Jess, we need a
Wait a
funny
minute.
guy.
I want to know why did it take so long? I mean, that's my point with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I meet somebody and I'm like, I know it. It's not going to take me 5
Right.
dates. It's just not.
Yeah.
But I haven't been in that scene for so
no,
long,
most
so I
of
have
them,
to leave
I would
that
say
open.
90% were one daters.
Okay.
You know, one
That's
dates.
good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I have a
But you
girlfriend
did get
that's-
married twice
I did get married twice.
and
The
got
se-
divorced twice.
and
Well,
got
the first
divorced twice.
one-
The first
right.
one I was young, and I just kind of, I'm
Well, maybe give you a
Italian
pass
too,
there.
and I kind of
Yeah.
thought I didn't even know people were married. The second one I really was in love with.
She loved him,
I loved
Meredith.
him.
She loved
He just was a
Chris.
cheater.
Right,
He
but
couldn't help
I
himself.
wonder if there were signs before you got married.
Of course there were. He was cheating before we were married with the text messages. And that's what all my friends will say. And this is what I'm working on. Red flags are real. Even Dean, who is a great guy, a big red flag is you're not fully divorced yet. You know, so
Right.
that's, you were married for 20 years. You're not fully divorced. That's probably not somebody that's ready to
But
really
this is
settle down
good.
in a
Right. So
serious
you've learned
relationship.
lessons.
I've learned lessons
Right,
and I'm
you've-
alive to talk about them.
Right. Exactly.
My
Thank
heart
God.
has been healed.
What is
Yeah.
it called?
Slightly.
You date people for a reason.
A season.
A season.
Or a lesson? Is it a lesson too?
Oh, I've never heard this.
A
Yeah.
reason, a season, a lesson. I think it's a lesson or a blessing. I think it is.
Oh, well, I think it's a reason or a season.
A reason
Or a
sin.
lesson and or a blessing.
Yeah,
What?
sometimes it lasts.
This is so fascinating to me.
Isn't
Your
it?
journey is
I-
like
it
really.
I
keeps
mean,
going.
I'm a
I
little
could go
exhausted.
on.
and your
I'm
mom and dad
exhausted.
are still married?
They're still
And
married.
you're
that's
so
your model.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And you have such
Successful, obviously.
Successful,
Yeah.
a wonderful personality.
Thank you.
And you're just looking for love.
I love. I do. And everybody will give me, they go, and they go, and you just don't give up. But I'm
And
on
you
a
love
little break.
commitment. You love
I like
commitment.
a little commitment, but right now I kind of like just having a boyfriend.
Yeah.
That would be the nice thing.
Right.
I don't need I don't know if I even want somebody to live with me, but ever. I mean, maybe at some point.
But you're a romantic.
I'm a romantic.
person.
I like to
Yeah.
think the universe brought us together.
Right. You're still hopeful that you are going to be swept away.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I have a friend just
A
like
suitor.
that. Yes. Yeah.
I'd like the suitor.
The suitor.
Maybe we can have an Easton bachelorette.
I would love to do that. My dream, Meredith, has
Mhm.
been to have the Bachelorette show.
That would be
Yes, you
awesome.
could be
Well,
That
I
would
don't
be
know. I
awesome.
think that you should employ your best friends. Because I think of my best friend and the men she's dated, I would know in one meeting with him that he wasn't right for her.
And
Yeah.
I do too with my other friend. I'm like, ew.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it takes her a
Most
little
of
while
them.
to figure it out.
most of
But
them.
the thing is, you don't have. Do you know anybody that you could fix her up with?
No one.
I
None
wouldn't.
of my friends. No, none of my friends know either. My friends.
I
know either.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
And I say
I
that.
tell her that. Like, I wouldn't. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's a serial dater. Get rid of. I think, too, I don't know. We
have to
Adam
go.
threw my juju off.
I know. Adam's in my peripheral vision.
He's giving the signals.
He's
Well,
giving us
Jess,
This was so fun.
Jess, tell
This
our
is so
tell our
great.
audience, how do they find you on social?
How do you find? I am under my Instagram is jpetro275 and Facebook is Jessica Petronelli.
Awesome.
So, guys, if
Yeah.
you want to date, and we're going to talk to you about The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Thank
There's
you
a lot
so
of
much.
suitors in Easton.
I mean,
it's
I
gonna
feel-
be like
There's going to be a lot of suitors. Get ready, Jess.
Woo! I'm ready.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
joining
so
us.
much.
Thank
this was so
you
much
guys.
fun.
So much fun.
Awesome. All right,
That's the
guys.
show.
Thank you.
Bye.